the following items: the technology, the easy access to the information, and the influence of media sensationalism. Can those items contribute to a society alienation and kind of that they get very worried or afraid about what could come next?
Science is a double-edged sword. One side of the sword can educate people. It can cure disease, poverty, enrich people's lives. The other side of the sword can create fear, dictatorships, disease, and famine. We have to make sure that the digital revolution creates enlightenment, democracy, and spreads democracy around the world. Now first, as I mentioned, when the internet was first created by physicists and mathematicians, it was male-dominated. It was about dominating over the Soviet Union. Today, the internet is female. It's about reaching out and touching people. Now, in the Middle East, we see the impact of Twitter. The Middle East was frozen for 50 years because of the Cold War. The Cold War froze politically in the Middle East for 50 years. Then in 5 months, Twitter comes in, and Twitter shakes up the whole Middle East. It shows how dangerous knowledge and democracy are. In the hands of the people, people will say to themselves, why do I have to suffer? Why do I have to live under a dictatorship? Why can't we have freedom and democracy? And they see that on the internet. On the other hand, certain governments can use that to track people. Use Twitter, use Facebook to track who are the ringleaders and who are the organizers of demonstrations. But overall, I think the impact is good, because with democracy comes social change. People realize that they don't have to live like that anymore. Now the bigger question is, where does wisdom come from? The internet is like a sword. We have to have wisdom to wield the sword of technology. But where does wisdom come from? I think wisdom comes from fierce democratic debate. People debating these questions. How far do we want to push designer children? Do we want to have cloning of humans? How long do we want the human lifespan to be? How about privacy? If everyone has the internet in your contact lens, how much privacy will we have? So these are democratic discussions, which I think is good, because that's where I think wisdom comes from. But the key to democratic discussion is education. People have to be educated about the future, and that's why I write these books. I want people to be educated about the future to stimulate democratic debate, because I think ultimately that's where wisdom comes from. Educated, spirited debate, democratic debate, is the origin of wisdom.
Hey, Diego from Brazil 247.